Welcome to Talking Business. I'm your host, Darcey Edwards with Queen Bee Leadership Training. Talking Business is just that. We are talking business with business leaders, leaders in the community, and those who change their communities with entrepreneurship. This podcast is presented by Xpose Hope as a thank you to the business community. Catch us on all the platforms. Find us, follow us, and review us. Hi, I'm Darcey Edwards, and this is Talking Business. And today we have with us Maxine Braune-Williams with the new, and we're at the Wine Bar in downtown Hillsboro. Fabulous, super cute. If you've never been here, you're missing out. Great food, great wines. Welcome.
Very complimentary. Appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. I love it here. So why don't you get us started with the Gochenour story? Where did you start?
Gochenour started all in 2011 is when my husband is Joe Williams, the winemaker, started making wines while he was working for Carlton Cellars, and he started the Gochenour label there. So for 5 years, he just worked selling the wines at festivals, different wine festivals that go on around the state. And then it was in 2017 that he found this spot and opened a new wine bar in downtown Hillsboro. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary on September 9th.
Excellent. Congratulations. That's awesome. So what are some of you kind of brought this out and then the pandemic hit. So how did you have to pivot your style and your business to thrive during that really kind of dark ages?
Challenging
dark ages. The dark ages.
It was a little dark because it felt also like, well, it was March in the summertime. So when it completely closed everything, when it hit in April and May, we completely closed. And we sat here and we decided, might be the time to make some changes, change the seating, because we knew it would come back at some point in time. Sure. We just didn't know when. But I think as many businesses is going, okay, how can we adapt to right then? So we became a bottle shop. We did, we live in a great community where we, in a neighborhood where people walk down, they would just buy the bottles, contactless, and take home. So it was a fantastic community. Even in those 2 months that we were closed, we did a bottle shop that at least helped pay the rent and everything to get by. Then when we reopened, we just re-strategized as far as seating and spacing things out. How could we adapt to less contact and constantly keeping everything sanitized, community safe, us safe, and everything. So that was challenging. We did a lot as far as when it was outdoor dining. We have a small patio right out that's connected to the building, but then we got really good at putting up pop-up tents. Yeah. Putting them up, taking them down every day to have our 6 tables outside with little fire pits. And again, just the community coming out, willing to support these small businesses like ours.
It was fabulous. Mm-hmm. I loved it. It was you did a great job of pivoting during that time and making it a classy, fun experience, even though we're in the midst of darkness. So kudos to you. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us about the name and the meaning behind it? Because I think it's very important for people to know what things mean and why you named it what you did.
So my husband, as I said, started it in 2011. He was visiting a winery down in Sonoma where he saw in the insectatory there was a statue, and it was the goddess Gochenour. So Gochenour is the Celtic goddess of Mother Earth. She birthed all gods into beings. So they say wind, wisdom, and fertility is what she oversees. So a lot of our verbiage we say is, being good stewards of the earth. We will only work with vineyards. We buy all our grapes to make our wines. We do not grow our grapes, but we only work with wineries that treat the land with respect to make sure that they can, it'll continue to thrive for years to come. So that's where we say, just like she is the goddess of Mother Earth, we want to be good stewards of our land and follow that ideal.
That's awesome. I love that. Where do you buy from? Like all over the country or just here, or?
We focus on Oregon. So my husband and I both have been in the hospitality business all of our lives. So prior to winemaking, he was a chef and owned a couple restaurants. And so he's always had contact with wineries and wine buyers and sellers. So has got to know a lot of them. So Willamette Valley is where we get a lot of our Pinot, Pinot Gris, Tempranillo. So small vineyards, a lot of small family-owned vineyards that just sell their grapes. We always say, let the farmers do what they do best, and we'll do what we do best, is making the wine and serving and selling it, and they can farm and grow the great grapes. So we work a lot with Seven Hills Vineyard. That is in Oregon. It's in the Walla Walla Valley, AVA.
Yeah.
But it's in the very southern tip. That's right outside of Milton Freewater.
Okay.
And then we do get a few grapes up in the Columbia Valley in Horse Heaven Hills, AVA, from Coyote Canyon Vineyards.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love that. So you partner with people who know what they're doing. And that's, I mean, a great business tip. So if you're not a great farmer, right, you find the farmers who are really good at that have the same heart and soul that you're trying to attain. And then you go make your product and make it amazing. So that's the people who like try to do everything in their business. You can't.
You cannot.
You can't do it well, because the farmer doesn't know what they know. They know what they're doing.
Correct.
And so I love that. What is your favorite?
The favorite of what we do in our business? From my background, I'll admit, I enjoy organizing, planning, strategizing, because we look at, I've been a general manager, from a waitress to a general manager of a resort. So I've kind of, like I said, done it all, but my favorite point is just organizing how it goes. Your week, your month, your day-to-day, week, month, scheduling staff for the tasting rooms. Helping Joe keep him organized, because throughout the year is not only just the harvest that we're going into right now, is, throughout the year you have different times you have to bottle, that you're labeling all the different steps. So we're coordinating that in conjunction with what's going on at the tasting rooms to make sure we have the right events going on, working with the community, what's going on in different events. So I enjoy that, the strategy of making sure you're trying to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to keep it even so you're not overwhelming yourself at any one point in time, but you can always deliver what you say you're going to, which that's sometimes I think a challenge for small businesses. You want to do too much and then you get overcommitted. Mm-hmm.
So beautiful, because we just had an interview last week with someone, and you'll have to listen to learn. But with that person, it was also, they kind of had two jobs. And so their whole thing was about scheduling. And so your money's in the schedule. It's in the habits. It's in those processes that you've kind of had to learn and navigate through to keep all those little plates in the air at the same time. What would you say to someone who's like, I kind of have a dream, a slight dream? What would be some advice you would get them?
Definitely do your research and talk to other people that have been in the business or what's similar of what you're looking at. You want to know the ups and the downs. It's been very interesting. I think hospitality in the wine business, it's a lot of hours. You don't do it, let's just say, you don't do it to get rich. You do it because you love it and you enjoy it. So knowing exactly what the ups and downs are, I think I've seen restaurants, we can equate wine to being a lot of restaurants too sometimes. People don't understand that it's a 24/7 job, and then you live and breathe it. So knowing those ups and downs, and then finding out from just interviewing other people of what made them successful, what would they do differently. So
you kind of have a unique love story, and I think that people need to know that in business, that you can have love.
You can.
Sometimes they're like they end up losing that, but your business kind of grew around your love story.
It did. Joe and I have known each other since the late 90s. We both worked together at McCormick and Schmick's on Beaverton Hillsdale Highway.
Yes.
He just got out of being a chef and wanted to move towards the front of the house, and I was there waiting tables. We were good friends at that point in time. Life went different ways. He was married, I was married. We just always stayed friends. But through the years, as he got into wine and I was back east managing restaurants, we both became single again, and life kind of brought us back together. So he started the wine business in 2011. I came out here in 2019, right December 31st, 2019. Wow. Yeah, right before the pandemic hit. To get married, and I was going to find a job and help out with the winery. But then things happened with the pandemic. It was like, okay, I'm in the wine business with you, honey.
That's awesome.
It has been good. So it's interesting when people ask questions about Deneau and Deneau wines. I always say, well, I've just been here for 2 years, but this is how it's grown and where we are now. We've definitely focused. I think when he started, it was, to always stay small, under 5,000 cases a year, and stay away from distributors. We like doing the tasting rooms because we enjoy interacting with people. And it's also, again, the business model. It is the best return for on your efforts, when I say cost of goods. But so the past 2 years, we've just sort of focused on, that's what we're good at, and that's what we grow. We're doing parties and doing that, and how do we expand that instead of pursuing distributors? So, yes.
That's awesome. I love that. So you didn't catch what she said. Finding that little niche that you're really good at and capitalizing on that. You don't need to go to the big people. You don't need to go to the big house to still be successful. You can have smaller events, and you really get to know your neighborhood. You really get to know your community, and I think that's really fabulous. Mm-hmm. And part of it, I mean, I see on your walls, if you haven't been here, tell everybody where you're at, where you're located so they can come.
Downtown Historic Hillsboro. So we are on, our address is 173 Northeast 3rd Street.
Right.
But however, we're Suite 107. So if you go to that address, it is Collective Market, done by Minnie Higgins. It's a fantastic store, but we are in the back end of that building. Yeah. So we are located directly behind Decadent Creations and the Collective Market. Yeah. So just a block from the courthouse. So we've been back here. It's funny how many people still come in and be like, we didn't know you were here, or didn't realize it was, how cute it was in here. So it does take time sometimes when you're not there right on the main street, but it's been fantastic. I think that's, word of mouth, and the Washington County Chamber being part of that, and just the support has done amazing things for our business.
Excellent. A hidden gem. But you have Alaska art. And so I'm like, are we in Alaska? No, we're not. We're still, okay. What's the connection to Alaska?
As you said, love story behind it too, but also as far as our background, Joe's background. He started the winery. So Danu being the Celtic goddess Mother Earth, our tagline for is always Alaskan, our Oregonian wines created with the Alaskan spirit and crafted with the Oregon. Oh, I'm gonna have to read it.
Oh, it's right here.
Northwest wines crafted with the Alaskan spirit and an Oregonian sense of Mother Earth. Yes, forgive me. Sometimes you get tongue-tied.
Right?
Alaskan spirit. Joe grew up in Alaska. He's from Fairbanks, so he has formed his years living up there as a teenage boy, working in the sports bar that his father owned, and so learned hospitality there. Yeah. So the Fairbanks. I've only visited a couple times myself, but it's when you go up there, you realize what they talk about, that Alaskan spirit of how to survive 40 below.
Right. Exactly.
But coming down here, and the Oregonian sense of Mother Earth is so it's kind of the two worlds come together.
I love that. What are your plans for the future? Do you have like a 5-year plan of goals?
Well, we did just recently this summer open up our second tasting room in Newburgh, Oregon.
Nice.
So that is 300 First Street. So we're right in downtown Newburgh.
Oh, yeah.
So very much where this tasting room, we do have a small kitchen, so we have the ability to do food and do parties. And so, and part of the community, because we have music on Wednesday nights, we have things always going on Fridays, circling around food. Down there is more of a tasting room. So we opened that up, and just it's more of a tasting room because it doesn't have the kitchen.
Gotcha.
So open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to 5 p.m. But then starting to figure out how to get into the community down there. We want to start doing music down there, being part of that community. We're giving back. So supporting a lot of art. The Art Harvest Tour they're doing down there. Nice. We love being part of the Art Walk here in downtown Hillsboro, First Tuesday Art Walk. So that's really our goal, is to stick with these two tasting rooms, maintain here, grow the business and the community outreach down there. So right now.
I love it. That's excellent.
So
thank you so much for taking your time out of your day to meet with us. And if you haven't been here, come by and just check it out. Great food. Amazing wine. So what's your favorite wine?
That we always say, do you have kids? You have a favorite, but do you tell anybody?
I know, right? It depends on the week.
Okay.
Sometimes I say,
Our other tagline is celebrating the diversity of Northwest grape growing. So we have over 14 different varietals between whites and reds, and then do quite a few blends. So, but Sauvignon Blanc is my go-to in the summer, and in the wintertime would be the Sangiovese.
Excellent. All right, come by. Say hi and have a glass of wine.
Thank you.
One of our clubs once had a violent incident where one dancer stabbed another. Xpose Hope was able to go in, provide gifts of love, mentoring, and a certified counselor to every staff member and every person who had been at the club that evening. So we were able to help the community to heal from this violent incident. We also worked with the young woman's family who was murdered and provided them services. This is your donation dollars at work. If you'd like to help us out, feel free to give at www.xposehope.com. That's XPOSEHOPE.com/donate. Your donation dollars at work.
Thank you for listening to Talking Business, brought to you by Xpose Hope. We can be found on all of your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, iTunes, all of them. Also, be sure to like us, share us, and leave a comment. Who do you want to hear from? We want to know.